Nobody talks about this, but Apple is about to pull the biggest iPhone pivot in almost 2 decades. I've got an exclusive iPhone Fold design mockup in hand, plus fresh leaks on the crease, the software, and the price. And honestly, some of it is wild. Today we're talking about the iPhone Fold, the alleged final design, how Apple plans to hide the crease, the iPad-like multitasking features coming to iOS, and the pricing that could make even pro buyers hesitate. Here's the mockup. Alright, first things first. This is a non-functional dummy unit. It's metal, it doesn't turn on, and it exists for one reason. So case makers and accessory companies can build around the shape before the real device hits the shelves. That also means the dimensions you're seeing here are the point, and they tell a story. The very first thing you notice is the form factor. It's short and wide. On paper, that sounds awkward. In your hand, it's the opposite. The width makes it feel stable, and the shorter height makes the reach way easier. I went into this expecting it to feel like a weird brick. It actually feels intentional, like Apple finally found the proportions that don't punish your thumb. On the outside, the cover display is reportedly 5.3 inches. That is big enough to do normal phone stuff, but small enough that you're not trying to type on a runway. It feels like the get in, reply, get out screen. Then you open it up and the inside display jumps to 7.8 inches. And I didn't fully appreciate that number until I held it. That is creeping into iPad mini territory, not a big phone. More like a pocket tablet that happens to fold. Now look closely at the front. The bezels are thin on the mockup, but the bigger detail is what you don't see. There are no obvious cutouts for the Face ID hardware. That matters because on the other dummy units floating around, like the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, you can spot the shaping for the front system. Those are expected to keep a smaller dynamic island this generation. The Fold? The leaks say it's going a different direction. Multiple reports say the iPhone Fold is dropping Face ID and going back to Touch ID, built into the power button on the right side. Basically the iPad Air and iPad mini approach, just on an iPhone. And before you panic, remember what Apple wants. A clean inside display with fewer compromises. Face ID needs space, and space is expensive when you're stacking a folding screen, a hinge, a battery split, and an ultra-thin chassis. And the iPad influence keeps showing up. The volume buttons aren't on the left side anymore. They're moved to the top right edge, which feels very iPad-like the moment you start handling it. It's the kind of layup decision that tells you Apple is optimizing for landscape use when the phone is open, because that's when the inside screen makes sense. Here's another interesting thing. On this mockup, there is no action button. Also no ring/silent switch. If that holds, it would be a first for the iPhone's identity. Personally, I think there's a decent chance the dummy unit is missing it, because accessory dummies sometimes simplify details. But if Apple really removes dedicated audio controls, they need a very clean software replacement, and they'd need it to be better than what we have now. Flip it around and the back is surprisingly simple. The camera setup appears to be just 2 lenses, wide and ultra-wide, sitting on that raised camera plateau design Apple debuted on the iPhone 17 line. No giant triple stack, no obvious periscope bump in these leaks. That's a choice. It suggests Apple might be treating the Fold as a new category that doesn't have to win every spec war, but instead nails a few core things: thinness, balance, and the inside experience. But then there's a bigger question: MagSafe. On the dummy unit, there's no MagSafe ring visible. On other recent dummies, the MagSafe alignment ring is pretty clear. So if it's missing here, we might be looking at an iPhone Fold that ships without MagSafe, or with a different internal layout that doesn't show up the same way. If MagSafe is gone, that's not a small change. That's Apple walking away from an entire accessory ecosystem for this specific device. And they'd only do that if the internal engineering demanded the space, or if the magnets interfere with something about the Fold design. So, why now? Why is Apple choosing 2026 as the year to drop a folding phone when foldables have existed for years? Because Apple is obsessed with the one problem foldables never fully killed: the crease. Every foldable has it. Some hide it better than others, but from certain angles, under certain lighting, you see that line down the middle. And the bigger issue is long-term wear. It's not just how it looks on day one. It's how it looks after months of folding, pocket heat, and pressure. The current wave of leaks says Apple is attacking the crease using 3 layers of engineering at the same time: the hinge material, the display construction, and the bonding layer that holds it all together. First, the hinge. Reports claim Apple is using a liquid metal material for critical hinge components. The point is durability and precision. A folding phone's hinge is not just a hinge. It is a tension management system. If the hinge shifts, even slightly, it concentrates stress on the same area of the panel over and over again. Over time, that's where you get the crease getting deeper, and that's where you get that tired-looking fold. With liquid metal style components, the hinge can maintain tighter tolerances through repeated folding. More precision means the screen bends in a predictable radius every time, and that is how you stop the display from being punished in one spot. Second, the display stack. The leaks say Apple is essentially sandwiching the OLED panel between two layers of UTG, ultra-thin glass. That's different from a lot of designs that rely heavily on one primary glass layer with protective coatings. The concept here is simple. If you distribute the bending across multiple layers, you distribute the stress. And if you distribute the stress, you reduce the chance of a permanent deformation line forming. And yes, I know the obvious question. Glass that bends sounds like nonsense, but UTG is already real in the foldable world. The trick is how it's layered, how thick it is, and how it's supported. Apple's approach, if these leaks are accurate, is basically, don't just make it bend evenly. Third, the secret sauce, the bonding layer. A newer report points to Apple using an OCA, an optically clear adhesive, in a way that's meant to prevent tension from building in one area. Think of it like a shock absorber between layers. Instead of the fold force slamming straight into a single point, the adhesive helps spread and smooth the stress as the device opens and closes. Then there's the feature people have begged for forever, running two apps at the same time in a split layout. This is the point of the big display. If Apple finally makes split view feel fast, stable, and actually useful, that's a real reason to buy a Fold. And here's a detail people keep missing. Aspect ratio. The iPhone Fold is rumored to lean into a 4:3-inch iPad-style shape. That means video playback should look better than on tall, skinny foldables where you end up with giant black bars and a video window that barely feels larger than a normal phone. On this wider panel, the video box grows. Less dead space, more actual picture. Now we have to talk about the part that could ruin the whole party, the price. Early expectations were already high, around $2,000, but newer pricing leaks are higher. Supposedly, the base storage is 256 gigs, then 512 gigs, then 1 terabytes, and the leaked pricing goes $2,300 for the base, $2,600 for 512 gigs, and $2,900 for 1 terabytes. That is not expensive phone. That is, you're choosing this instead of a laptop territory. And here's my honest take. Even if Apple nails the crease, even if the hinge feels perfect, and even if iOS multitasking finally grows up, $2,300 is a brutal number. At $2,300, the Fold has to be more than cool. It has to become the device you actually use for work, travel, reading, meetings, and creativity. And iOS has to support that life, not fight it. This is where I start getting Vision Pro energy from the whole thing. Not because it's the same product, but because it feels like Apple making a premium flagship that proves a point. It's Apple saying, this is how you do it when you care about the details. The question is whether the market rewards that, or whether people admire it from a distance and keep buying the normal Pro. And we still have open questions. Is there Apple Pencil support? With a 7.8-inch inside screen, it would make sense for quick notes and markup. But Apple Pencil on an iPhone has never been a thing, and Apple would need to decide whether that feature helps the Fold or complicates the lineup. Also, what happens to durability ratings? Water resistance on foldables is improving, but it's still a challenge. Dust is the enemy, and Apple does not like shipping products that feel fragile. So here's where I land. The iPhone Fold design, as leaked, is surprisingly practical. Short and wide makes sense. Touch ID in the power button is a classic Apple pivot when the hardware demands it. The camera setup looks restrained. The whole device feels like it's built around the inside screen experience, not built around winning a spec sheet. But the price is the cliff. If Apple sticks the landing on the crease and the multitasking, people will justify it. If the multitasking feels half-hearted, or if the crease is still there in normal use, that price becomes a deal breaker instantly. One more thing before we wrap. There's also been chatter about major leadership changes at Apple, and if that is real, it could influence how aggressive Apple gets with entirely new product categories. I'm not going deep on that today, but it's absolutely on the list for the next video, because it changes the tone of everything. If Apple gets the crease to disappear, the iPhone Fold becomes the first iPhone in years that actually changes how you use it, not just how it looks. But if the price leak is accurate, Apple is daring you to treat an iPhone like your main computer. That is a bold bet. So here's the move. When the first real hands-on drops, compare it to your current Pro and ask one question: would you actually unfold it every day after the hype fades? Next time, I'm covering the leadership twist and why it could explain this timing. See you in the next one. Stay blessed.